the cure for the common car. We'll double your down payment, up to $4,000, cash or trade. But hurry, these deals are done once I've helped 73 people find a cure for a nicer, newer car. I'm Matt Parsley. I'm your dealer for the people. See all these great rides at BudgetSaysYes.com. BudgetSaysYes.com. Negative may be refinanced with approved credit offer ends January 31st, 2020.
Chico's Auto Pros has an all-new Hunter Road Force tire balancer and alignment machine to get vibrations out of your ride. Get your free tire inspection today at Chico's Auto Pros.
Join Sean Hannity Sundays at 3 p.m. for the Encore Show.
Chinese, the Russians don't fear Joe Biden.
On News Radio 1440.
All righty then. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so I got to go down here and open the door for the mayor. So you guys, see, I don't have a producer to go down there and do those kind of things for me. So you guys hang loose, and I'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Okay? So don't go nowhere. I promise. We'll be right back. And we are back. Good morning to you, everybody. Hope this day finds you well. In our offices right now, it says honor the mayor, Stephen Lewis Reed, as a matter of fact. Yeah, we want to.
How you doing?
How's your dad?
Dad's doing well, man. I just talked to him yesterday. Saw him the night before.
Yeah, I saw him in the paper complaining about Biden trying to pick the delegates.
Yeah, that's his fight.
But but that's, I mean, Democrats have always done that, try to, live in everybody else's house.
No, listen, don't start. Now, see, I wasn't going to bring up New Hampshire last night. And
Trump won.
Huh?
We good.
Well, that's not what, some people feel like they reinvigorated. So I guess the governor, Ambassador Haley feels like, hey, she's reinvigorated. We're going to go back to South Carolina and see what happens.
And when she loses in South Carolina, boy, that's going to be really, we might put her on suicide watch.
Well, see, I'll leave that to the other side. I don't know those politics and how that works.
Anyway, good morning, Mayor. How you doing?
Man, we're doing pretty good. I won't complain.
You have I got so many questions to ask you, but you want
That's why I wanted to come in here. See, we were scheduled for what? A 30-minute call. Yeah. I said, why are we just doing 30 minutes? Elk man doesn't want me on. No. He's scared of a challenge. Is that what it is?
We can give you till 9 o'clock if you want to.
No, I can't go to 9 o'clock.
Okay. All right. Anyway, but you got the state of the city coming up. Is there going to be anything in that speech different than what it always is? Well,
we didn't do state of the cities until to the public. They did it to the chamber,
right.
And that sort of thing, but not to the public. I think that yes, there will be some things that we have not shared yet and we haven't released publicly. So you'll hear some announcements about some of our initiatives for 2024. Mm-hmm. You'll also hear some of the things that we want to tweak and we want to improve on in the year, and you'll hear some, I guess, what they call kind of more aspirational goals as well. One of the things I mentioned last night at the council meeting was, even though we're reopening the planetarium, we do plan to move forward in building a new planetarium. Mm-hmm. We know that planetarium is very old, doing the best it can, but it's on this last, breath, if you will. So we're going to open it. It's nice, to hold groups in, but for the tourist crowd, when you get named to the New York Times, top 52 places to go in 2024, you got to step it up a little bit because you got global visitors coming to your city and people who want to, see how Montgomery has progressed. And so, you'll hear some different things in the state of the city, but you'll also hear some new ideas as well.
Okay. Now, before I get really hard on you, it does seem that your administration, I don't know if I should give you the credit, or somebody deserves the credit for continually to bring business into Montgomery. We seem to be keep bringing it. So on one hand, you hear on this side over here where it's well, Montgomery this, Montgomery that. But on the other hand, I'm always hearing about new businesses come to town. I mean, so where are we at in that? I mean, I think we're doing pretty good. We got to find people to work.
I agree. I think that we're doing a great job at doing that. We work together with the Chamber of Commerce, our county commission, and others on that. Everybody plays a role. Our Industrial Development Board, Airport Authority, go down Planning Commission. Everybody has a role to play. The public schools, everybody has a role to play in that. But we are doing very well. And one of the things I was able to ask Secretary of Treasury, you mentioned I was in D.C. You know, I'm not in D.C. just going up there, just to sightsee. Okay. So, we go up there and we get good meetings, and whether it's with our senators and congressmen people, or if it's with, presidential cabinet members. Now, I don't know a whole lot of Montgomery mayors or any mayors in the past that have gotten one-on-ones with cabinet members. Now, maybe they have, and I just wasn't paying attention. Yeah. But I think that, we're in a place with an administration that values where mayors are bipartisan across the board, and we're able to bring ideas to them. So one of the things that we brought to Treasury Secretary Yellen was, how do we reposition ourselves in the global supply chain? Through the CHIPS Act that was passed, how do we position Central Alabama, not just Montgomery, Central Alabama, which is the most economically depressed area in the state. That means it's the worst performing economic area in the state. So how do we compete with the Huntsville, Redstone, Arsenal area and the Birmingham, UAB, University of Alabama, I-20 corridor, and, of course, the Port of Alabama down there in Mobile? So we're able to talk to them about leveraging Maxwell Gunter, leveraging Alabama State University, Tuskegee University, leveraging state government, and many of the other assets that we have here. And I think that positions us for more. And I can tell you right now, we will have a major announcement by the time I come back on the next go-round. And it's significant. It's a game changer, and I'm excited about it. And it's one that, really everyone has been pushing for us to get. As it relates to workers, I do want to bring this up because, again, we had Acting Secretary Julie Sue here last week, or week before last, excuse me. And I had a conversation with her around workforce development initiatives and apprenticeship programs. How do we get those programs to people where they are needed? How do we market, advertise? How do we hit them on their cell phones? How do we send texts to them just like I get a text, do I want to sell my own house? No, I don't want to sell my own house. How do we do that and let them know this is where this job training opportunity is, how much it pays, and all they have to do is 6-8 weeks and they're certified? Those are things government has to improve on and understand where customers are, understand where their people are, so we can give them the opportunity and the information to go after these high-paying jobs that we're bringing here. And I'm excited about it because I think it's not only great for those who live in the city of Montgomery. I know it's great for people who live within about a 45 to 60-mile radius, some would say even 80, of the city of Montgomery. Okay.
Now, let me ask you something that's bothering a lot of people, and that's your police department.
Okay.
There seems
the police department always seems to be bothering people. Why is that?
Because it seems that the morale in that department and the lack of people who want to work there indicates, it's indicative of leadership issues.
I disagree with that.
Okay. Well, tell us why we can't get police over there to work, and why we losing so many, and why so many people?
Why are we not losing so many?
Well, we got about 290.
No, listen, do you want me to tell you the real truth? You want me to tell your audience the real truth?
Yeah, tell us the real truth.
Okay, listen. Yeah. No mayor or council wants to cut the budget for police department. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. No. But you don't want to cut the head count, all right? So the police department haven't been at that number in years, far before I even came in.
So how many policemen do we actually have?
We have 390, 380, 388, somewhere in there. And then I think but we're budgeted for, I think 516 or something like that. Now Birmingham is budgeted at about 800. They got about 5. Nobody.
So why do you think that people don't want the job?
Well, I'm gonna get to that point. I can answer that. I'm on the National Public Safety Committee for the National League of Cities. All right, so I work with David Hope, Republican mayor out of Oklahoma City. I work with Quentin Lucas, Democratic mayor out of Kansas City, Missouri, who are the co-chairs of that. I can get to that because we have talked for the last 2 or 3 years of how to change this, and we are changing it here in Montgomery. Let me say this. Morale is often and I hear you talk about it, I hear your callers talk about it, it's often an attitude. It's often a mindset, right? And morale often comes down to who are you asking? So I'm sure if you go through the city, there may be some folks who don't like the morale of the mayor, right? Because they don't like, my political philosophy, or they don't like my approach to things, or what we demand and what we expect. Very different than some other mayors. My approach to things is mine, theirs was theirs, all right? So you can find some people anywhere who don't like leadership, who don't like the quote-unquote direction. I look at the results, right? And so what I look at is understanding in 2020 we had George Floyd, and nationally police departments are down. Why? Pays down. Those that are coming out of the military and those that want to go into this line of work are down because they can go into some of these other high-paying jobs without a high school diploma or college degree and make more. So I don't have to put my life on the line. And then guess what? When I do go into public safety, something that, duty called me to respond to, everybody wants money more than quarterback everything that I do. It's a tough job. It is a tough job. My hat is off to the men and women who are still there, who have gone through the changes. But what we saw nationally, and the data will show this, is in the last 2 to 3 years, you saw a generational retirement. After 20 years across the country, people left public safety. They left to go into private security. Others left to go into different type of jobs. Others just retired. We have not had that influx of people coming in. And you know what the experts are telling us? You won't. So you're going to have to learn how to police differently across the country, whether you're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, whether you're in St. Louis, Missouri, whether you're in Newark, New Jersey. Okay. You're going to have to figure that out.
Is it, then why? And your perspective is your perspective, but why is it when I talk to the average police officer, a lot of them are concerned with leadership. A lot of them, and it's not about they don't like the guy who's in charge or anything like that. There's been some accusations made that are serious.
It's easy for me to make anonymous accusations.
Exactly, which is why I don't pass it along the airwaves. But so you're telling me, as far as you know, there's no issue at the police department that will require your attention? No,
listen, Chief Albert knows I don't like the homicide rate going back up. So he knows that.
I didn't blame y'all for that.
Okay, so but still, we don't like the numbers. We don't like the shootings, right? Mm-hmm. And you're about to come up on the legislative session in a couple of weeks, and I still want those legislators who will come before you, particularly those that pass the permitless carry bill, to defend that and to speak to that, because they heard from Sheriff's Association, they heard from the DA's Association, as well as mayors and League of Municipalities, that we were not for permitless carry, and it would make it harder for what? Not just for us to get guns off the street, it would make it harder for us to arrest people who shouldn't have the gun in the first place. So, that's some of it, but that's not all of it. I'm not satisfied with where we are as it relates to the homicide and shooting rate overall. I think our response time can be better. We've got to figure out a different way to use data to respond to incidents in a more efficient manner. And I always think, and this includes me, I'm always looking for ways to improve the internal operation of the city. So I always I'm reading a leadership article here, I'm reading a leadership book there. I mean, they're not political, they're just people. How do you learn how to talk to and deal with people of different backgrounds, of different philosophies, and still achieve the same outcome? Look, I'll probably watch more Nick Saban videos that not talking about football than his press conferences, because I'm more interested in how do you get people to play in their world as a team, but in our world, how to work as a team and put these things aside. So there are always things that we can improve on. And so, yes, I think with the police department, we can work on a lot of things. But it's not just that when it comes to the city of Montgomery. Okay. It's a lot of other departments.
Good morning. On the air with the mayor.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Mayor, I'm a city retiree. I completed 34 years of continuous service with the city of Montgomery.
Yes.
I attended the city council meeting where you explained the new insurance program for the city retirees over 65.
Right.
And you made a statement. You said that your health care provider or your doctor, I forgot how you said it exactly, had to accept this new insurance. That's not a factual statement. A dentist retiree went to the dentist and they won't accept it. So that's not a factual statement. in the letter that was sent out from the city to us said this is going to be a rich plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a rich plan. Well, it's a rich plan for the pharmaceutical companies. I take a medication, and I went to the pharmacist to get it filled. I've been paying a copay of $4.97. I went in there and presented my new pharmaceutical card, and she said, that'll be $202. And I said, well, it went down. She said, you don't understand. Look, it was $202, Mayor. There's almost a $500 deductible up front you got to pay that down before that. And you're talking about firemen that were in the line of work before they had all the fancy equipment they got now, and they've got emphysema. I've got a bad knee that I have to go get a shot for. I haven't had to pay a copay under Blue Cross. When I went in there with the new card, $45 up front. This is not a good plan, Mayor. And if it was a good plan, why wouldn't the city go and save more money by dropping the whole city off of Blue Cross down to Humana or some other cheaper insurance if you're trying to save money? Can you explain that?
Sure. Yeah. First of all, thank you for 34 years service to the city of Montgomery. Whether you're in fire, whether you're working in accounting, all of that adds up to make a tremendous difference in not only the city itself, but for those who depend on the city of Montgomery. So I appreciate that. You know, with healthcare changing the way it is, we're always looking for the best plan for not only our employees currently, but we're also looking to keep up with what's changing for those retirees around copays and around benefits. Our analysis showed that not only was it a good plan for retirees overall because it would cap the level of medicine costs that were rising, but also that it would save the city money. So we didn't start out saying, well, hey, we're going to cut retirees' benefits to save money. That's not where we start at all. When we look at a risk management plan, and risk management takes it to our finance director then shares it with the chief of staff and myself and others, we're looking at what's going to provide the best coverage and what's going to provide the best benefits relative to the cost. Now, overall, I do think the plan is better. It will save the city money. I'm disappointed to hear that your dentist would not take this plan. And I'm disappointed to hear that some of those copays that you mentioned have gone up. That's not what we have gotten from several others who, before that city council meeting and since then, have told us the savings that they are getting. So what I'd like to do is to maybe get your name and number off air, or just ask you to call my office right now at 625-2000 and leave your name and number. Let me put you in contact with our provider. Now, here's the thing I will say as well. What risk management suggested was that anytime there's a change, there are going to be some hiccups, and we have to be able to bring those complaints back to the provider. And I think the provider was at the city council meeting and gave out their helpline number and that sort of thing. But if you will call the main line there, if you forget that, just call 311 and leave your name and number. I will connect you to that provider to find out exactly what's what, because we want to keep up with it. Last thing, it's only a 1 year. We only signed a 1 year contract here, kind of as a trial period. And so what I'll share is if we do find that more and more people are contacting us and telling us, hey, my copay was here, now it's there, and it's due to the provider and not your physician or pharmacist, then we will be reevaluating this by the next budget cycle, which, believe it or not, will get started in April. So we will start that budget cycle. We will have these conversations. It's right around the corner. So
what you're saying then, this is a 1 year trial, and if you keep getting all these complaints, you guys will go back and rethink.
Absolutely. That's why we didn't sign a long-term trial with them or a long-term contract with them.
Okay. Good morning. You're on the air with the mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Now.
Good morning. Yes, sir.
Oh, right. Long time ago, people were hating. Today, people just hate. Some people are just wrong to hate. Some people that do not like nobody. Whatever you do, they don't like it. I mean, that's the way it is today, long time ago, and it always will be. Have a good day, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All
Thank
righty
you.
then.
Good morning, on there with the mayor.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, Kevin. You was talking about these innovation jobs. What does that consist of, and what state are they coming from?
Advanced manufacturing. So in the case of Manna Beverage Partners and Amazon and Diageo brands, they're expanding operations. They're not necessarily moving from one state to another. It's where they expand some of their operations, and these are jobs that will pay in Diageo's case $57,000, and Manna Beverages averages $72,000. And we have some that fall in between there as well. I will say this, and we met with the leadership at Hyundai very recently. We've got to make sure that we're letting people know again about this information, about the jobs and those requirements. They're coming with great salaries, coming with great benefits, but they're coming with expectations. I mean, that's the right of any employer. So we've got to make sure that people understand the opportunities that are there. But these are jobs that are coming as a result of growth, coming as a result of expansion. I don't know how many are being moved from one state to another. And the announcement I told Kevin about just a few minutes ago is really due to growth and expansion. That one is not coming from a state. It is we're in play as a state, and more importantly, we're in play as a city and region to bring better jobs, and we're going to continue to compete for those jobs.
Okay. Somebody said your 311 is not working, so you might want to check that.
Well,
first.
we just introduced the 311 supervisor last night at the city council meeting, so I don't know if it's
maybe that's why you needed a supervisor.
Well, we did. We needed better performance. There's no question about that, and I think we have it, and it's staffed. It's not working this morning. I'll call on the break.
Yeah, I don't know if it's working this morning, but they
okay.
Said, good morning, on air.
Good morning. How you doing?
All right, so let 301 know I'm going to call on the break now, so you better pick up. Go ahead, I'm sorry, sir.
Talk about making things better in the city, old things, making them new, like the sanitarium and all that kind of stuff. But he's never talking about he's the only mayor that went to the Capitol. How about be the only mayor that fixed the Whitehurst case? You can do all these things, but you can't correct the Whitehurst case.
Well, how about the fact that I settled the gun case? You want to talk about what I didn't do? How about the fact I settled the gun case within the first 6 months of being in office?
Okay, you settled the gun.
Okay. The Whitehurst. Hey, listen. We've talked about this a number of times on every radio show that I've been on. So I told you my answer on that. There's no need to revisit that. When there's an opportunity to address it, we'll address it. As the city attorney tells me, there's not that opportunity right now. Where there is, we've acted, and we've acted swiftly. That gun case stood out there for several years, and I came in and got that done in the first 6 months of being in office. So when I can do things, I do them. Let's just acknowledge that.
That's not an answer. That's not an answer.
It's not the answer you want.
No, the answer is you can accomplish all these things from the past, correct things that's breaking down and falling down in the city, and bringing new business in. But that one thing you refuse to touch. I think no. I met with the family, and I don't know if you're a part of the family or not, but I met with the family, and legal has met with the family as well. So I think there's some other things that we don't have the time to get into right now. Where we've been able to address things and get them settled and do right by folks, we've done right by folks. And again, unfortunate situation that happened many, many years ago, but where we've been able to address those things, we don't dilly-dally with them. We get them done.
I appreciate your call, but you will admit that Montgomery owes that family something.
Well, I think it owes an apology, but you can't get around
more than an apology.
Well, you can't get around the law. I mean, it doesn't matter how I feel personally about a situation. I can't get around what the law says I can and cannot do as the chief executive officer for the city of Montgomery. I can't do a lot of things that philosophically I would like to do that are monetarily involved.
So what is the big issue? Time?
No, it's not as much. It's not. I mean,
they shot a man in the back. I mean,
very familiar with the story.
So what is the impediment?
The impediment are things in the law that won't allow me to address it. That's all I can say without unless you want to get another 20 minutes on that.
No.
Well,
we kind of.
Well, then I'll bring the lawyers up here. And we'll just have a full.
Yeah,
we may just have a full discussion on that.
Yeah. Good morning, you're on air.
Good morning, Sergeant Elkins.
Good morning, First Sergeant.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Hey, Mayor.
That's a good call in. That's a good call in handle, First Sergeant. I can't get that good. I can't get that. I didn't serve in the military, so I can't get that kind of call.
But we'll call you Mayor, so that's cool.
I got two mayors, Mayor of the Airways,
that's true.
And Mayor of this city.
Wait, what are you?
I'm the Mayor of the Airways, baby.
Mayor of the Airways.
And I've been here longer than you.
You were here when I came back here. You better be here before I left.
Yeah. Well, what can I tell you?
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
The perception to a lot of people is that people are leaving Montgomery. That's the perception.
Uh-huh.
But the reality is, as I drive around this city, there's a number of housing developments going up. On Atlanta Highway in front of Publix, there's a community going up. Bond Road, there's a community going up. Down from Park Crossing High School, there's a community going up. There's an apartment complex going up. There's a tremendous amount of development going up in this city. Can you talk about, perception versus reality? And I'll hang up and listen to your response.
Yes, sir. Right. Thank you for the question. My communications team and some other folks are going to get on me for doing this, but I asked them in December to get this out, and we didn't get it out, so I'm going to say it. We're going to announce, so your listeners will hear it first, 5,000 new housing units. I would say we're going to announce it tomorrow, but I would have been saying that last month, and we still had announced it for some reason. Maybe I'm the reason. But 5,000 new housing units in the city of Montgomery. I mean, that is major. Now, that's not people. That's not all single family.
Will we be able to afford them? There lies the question.
Yes. Listen, that answer is yes. Mm-hmm. And I want to say this, too, because I know a lot of people don't like new housing developments and they don't like the traffic. But that's growth. That's positive. We want that. And I appreciate the caller bringing that up. We're seeing those things happen around the city. And I think there are a lot of reasons why. I think, again, Montgomery has a lot going for it. And we tend to focus, again, on the things that we haven't done and things that we want to do. I understand that's human nature. I tend to think about my New Year's resolutions, health-wise and physically-wise, what I want to do as opposed to what I do have. Mm-hmm. I need to count my blessings. I need to be grateful for the position I am in physically as opposed to, I want to do this, I want to look like that or whatever it may be. And I think that kind of comes through when it comes to the city of Montgomery. I mean, we are poised to grow. And listen, I think the property tax increase is a part of that. I think the schools stabilizing and improving is a part of that. I think certainly our small businesses and others are part of that, a lot of the amenities. Now, I will say this, with that great announcement, I would like to see, and we're working on how do we shift, so not really shift, but how do we bring more of those new housing developments to other parts of the city. And those are things that we have to continue to work on. But no, we are certainly growing and we are certainly attracting jobs and people to this city. And I'm excited about everybody who's been working on behalf of doing just that.
We got to take a break. One more thing. The Salvation Army, which is a staple in most communities, that lends itself to helping poor folks, can't seem to find a place to land in this city. I know one of our city councilmen, Mr. Calhoun, didn't want it in his district. Other people don't want it in their district. Right. What are we going to do to help them find a place? Hold that thought.
All right. I got an answer for you.
Okay.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons Automotive, family owned, family driven on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Jackson Hewitt Tax Services, home of the Money Today guarantee. Can't wait weeks for your tax refund? Then don't at Jackson.
And we are back. 860-1440 is our number. Our guest is Honor the Mayor, Stephen Lewis Reed.
Tell them what just happened while we were off the air. Tell them what
okay, well, you called 911.
311.
311. There was a problem.
No, they picked up on the first ring. Right. But they did acknowledge that sometimes if you call, your call won't go through. And when I asked the question, supervisor said because of the carrier. And you came back in here, what did I say?
We got to get
another. I thought we got to get another carrier.
That's good.
So
Salvation Army.
That carrier fired. I don't know who had that contract.
Salvation Army. Why we can't find a place for them to
so two things. Yeah. With that, one, everybody wants to help the poor, but no one wants the poor
in their neighborhood. Okay? That's right.
So let's just start with basic facts. That's just what it is. Everybody in Montgomery, great spirit, great sense of giving. They just don't want the Salvation Army near them. So trying to find a place has been extraordinarily hard, that one that they can afford and they can still operate out of. Every time we think we've got a place, the neighborhood comes out and says we don't want it here. Now, second thing, the Salvation Army has you think the federal government is bureaucratic. They've got a real bureaucratic approach that does not allow the people in Montgomery who know Montgomery, including our local board, to make the final decision. So there have been a couple that we've agreed on that when they go to the home board, I guess they call it, in Jackson, Mississippi, they have vetoed it. So we have had a couple of places that both the city and the board said, okay, we can live with that, that the regional board or the national board has vetoed. Mm-hmm. Then they've changed directors, what do they call them, sergeants, I think. They've changed leadership.
Right.
Here at least 5 times since I've been in office. So the continuity doesn't build confidence that what you say you're going to do here is actually going to be done, because we don't know if the people here who are true and authentic. I mean, the people who work for the Salvation Army leader are great, great people. There's no question about that. But if they come and tell one neighborhood this in March, and by the time I get to Thanksgiving, they're gone, the new person comes in and says, well, hey, I may be doing something different. That doesn't instill confidence in the people. So I think the Salvation Army has some explaining to do. Mm-hmm. I think they have some work to do on their end, and I'm sure the people of Montgomery will meet them. We want the Salvation Army in Montgomery. Mm-hmm. We want them helping. We've got a homeless situation that is challenging. It's challenging our other nonprofits that are in that space. We want all the help we can get. The Salvation Army just has to be firm and has to allow the local board here maybe to have a little bit more autonomy than what they've given them out of Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay. Go back to the phone. Good morning. On the air with the mayor.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin.
Morning.
Hey, I want the mayor to just kind of comment on some of your callers, Kevin, that always, when they use their statements, they always say the mayor's driving around in a $90,000 vehicle, and the police officer riding in 2010. When the mayor goes out to bring productivity and new businesses working on, trying to bring new ideas to the city, they complain that you're outside the city showing off. I noticed no one even mentioned the other day. I saw you up in Washington. I'm going to hang up, but it irks me when the $90,000 vehicle, that's really a concern with some of the citizens, and on why you're driving that type vehicle and the police officer needing vehicle. Kind of explain that, or bring the people on that handles the finance for those vehicles, and kind of break it down in layman's terms.
Yes, sir.
Hang up and listen.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the question. I didn't know it was that much of a topic, but I mean, I kept Mayor Strange's vehicle for probably 3 years. He couldn't get another one because everybody was backlogged on the semiconductor chips that are in all these trucks for probably another year. So when we got the car, it was well past the service date on that. And I don't expect that we'll be getting another truck or car or whatever for the mayor's detail anytime soon. But certainly we wanted to get something that is representative of the city of Montgomery. If I showed up looking like John Fetterman in a sweatsuit and cut off shorts at city council meeting,
we talk about you.
People would talk about me, right?
We would.
Okay.
So,
it went from
he's a Democrat too.
Right, I know he's a Democrat. I just saw him last week.
I think you ought to look good going down the road.
Well, yeah,
I ain't got no problem.
And it's not that one comes at the expense of the other. We bought new garbage trucks, new fire trucks, new police cars, new fleet cars. So it's not like we bought one at the expense of the other. Listen, the cost of doing business up. My laptop, my iPad cost more than an iPad cost 10 years ago. The cost of doing business of anything is up, but I don't have anything that's out of step with mayors of other cities. As a matter of fact, some of my fellow mayors got the big Suburban. I like that too, but I don't have that.
And some people are complaining that there's a detail that takes you around and do grocery shopping and take the family around and do grocery shopping and all that stuff. Personally, I don't have a listen. You're the mayor of the city of Montgomery.
Yeah, the detail.
I don't have
First of all, I was just in the grocery store yesterday at 7 a.m. and the lady asked me, said, "Are you supposed to be here by yourself?" I said, "Well, no, you don't tell anybody." So I just told your whole audience. But no, that sometimes if we're kind of like coming from here, if I can jump in somewhere in and out, then I guess that means they're taking me grocery shopping. I say, hey, stop over here.
We don't have a problem with that.
I think we got to worry about the other. Let me get to the family piece. And so we got to keep in mind that you haven't had a mayor with a working wife in many moons. Okay. You certainly haven't had a mayor with young kids in many moons. So this is new. So nothing we're doing is outside of protocol. We benchmark cities in everything we do in our operations of all sizes, small, mid-size, and large, just kind of to see where we are and kind of if we're in step with what we're doing. So, I think those are folks who are worried about the wrong thing. Trust me, I don't get up thinking about, the car or anything, but I do want to dispel this. We bought almost 80 police vehicles. So we have been the ones who have said, I have told people who have been on my detail at my house and anywhere else, why are you still in this car? Well, then I call fleet. They'll say, well, hey, their car's on order. We're waiting for the car bids to come in. So we're replacing these cars. And listen, for my friends who bring that up, a lot of that has been through dollars from the Biden administration. So it didn't just dollars that were coming through the general fund. We replaced fire trucks and vehicles, EMS vehicles as well. A lot of that came from our bond issue. Some of that we did when we first got in 2021. And then others has come because we've been able to get dollars for public safety, for new police equipment, guns, tasers, all this.
We ran out of time. Has all the ARPA money been dispersed?
No.
How come?
Because we got bureaucracy.
But we still paying $42,000 a month to levitate?
Well, we trying to stay out of jail.
You ain't figured that out by now?
We're trying to stay
Mr. Vanderbilt? You ain't figured it out? You ain't figured out 3 years?
You're not going to put that down? We've done that. We're working with the county.
$42,000 a month.
Listen, I don't know if it's $42,000.
Yeah, 20 from here and 22 from the county.
I don't think that's what they make. I don't think that. Okay. I'm almost certain that you're on that.
I'm almost certain I'm right.
Okay, I'm going to go again. I just checked 311.
Because most of the money going to them.
No, it has not. Listen, you have to have, and I'll stay over for a little break. To clear this up. We want to stay in compliance, and we're not going to allow people to say 2 years from now that somebody gave to some entity that was a shell organization, didn't do what they said they were going to do, and now y'all owe us this $2.8 million back. So they have given us great advice.
But you're an educated man. You can read. I can read.
Listen,
this ought not be a different after 3 years.
No. First of all, we aren't near the only city who has not dispersed all, and I'm glad we haven't. We could have recklessly just put it in a pool and said divide it up between the mayor and the council and the county commission. We could have given everybody a slush fund. All right?
Okay.
Now, if we would have had a slush fund, you know what you would have said?
Well, somebody been quiet.
You would have been yelling.
Well,
you would have been yelling.
But at least the money would have went someplace.
The money is going into programs. The money has gone into mental health services. The money has gone into other community initiatives. It's going into small business.
We've been talking about Madison Park getting.
We don't have enough money. I was on a call yesterday for that. Now we're going to do the sewer, but we couldn't dedicate all the money to that. But we were just on a call yesterday about working with the Alabama. I was about to say ADM. People don't know what ADM is. The Alabama Department of Environmental Management about Madison Park and making sure.
But we've been talking. I've been there 33 years. We've been talking about it for 33 years.
This is as close as you ever gotten. And let me tell you and the folks at Madison Park this. This will be the time when they actually get what people have been talking about.
We'll see.
What did I just say on that last thing? When we can move and act, we move and act.
Good morning on there.
But we can't just run away from the law, Kevin. Now maybe you can. I can't do that.
Go ahead.
Good morning. A couple of questions for you. You ran on $1.7 billion in private investment, and you ran on the coffers of the city of Montgomery being full. Where can I go see a multi-million-dollar plant?
You can go right out to the industrial park right now. You can drive right out to Montgomery Industrial Park right now.
Name which one's been built out of the $1.7 billion.
Well,
name it for me.
They are coming into fruition.
I mean, it ought to be a specific name. I know you can blow smoke like the best, but give me a specific name of a multi-million-dollar
Go to Hyundai.
Go to Hyundai. Billion.
All right, Hyundai. Go to the expansion of Hyundai.
In the city of Montgomery?
Yes, it is.
When did they build that plant?
They built it in 2004, I believe, or 5.
Was you there then?
No.
You just tell me the $1.7 billion.
They expanded. They expanded.
Give me where the $1.7 billion is.
I just gave
well, they expanded Hyundai.
How much was that? How much did they expand? How much did they expand? A dollar amount.
That was about $400 million of the $1.7 billion.
And then how much more we got left of that?
Well, you do the math on that. You don't call with the questions.
I got. He's gonna stay with us a couple more minutes. But right now we got to go to a break. We'll be back. The mayor's here with us, right here in Montgomery, Alabama. Mayor Stephen Reed.
You gonna say I can blow smoke? Then you do the math. $400 million for $1.7 billion. You can do that.
We'll be back.
Easy and low T comprehensively and with proven treatments dialed in just for you. With same-day booking, you can meet our passionate team, and by this afternoon, you'll leave with a plan that's designed to be sustainable for life. The number one thing we hear guys say is, I forgot how I used to feel. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and crush this new year. Call my team right now and let us treat you to an unforgettable experience. Dial 334-440-3663 or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
Alexa smart speakers are great because you don't have to turn a dial or push a button to listen to News Radio 1440. Just say, Alexa, play News Radio 1440.
I'm on it.
You're good to go.
And we are back. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's okay. The mayor said he'd stay around for a couple more minutes, so we're going to take a couple more calls.
I thought you said you were going to let me talk.
Well, take the two calls.
Take the calls.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead. You're on air.
See how you set me up?
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Hey, yeah. Mayor, I need something out of you this year, sir. I'm glad I caught you at the beginning of the year. The Christmas parade for the Christmas parade for the city of Montgomery. I need you to go out and talk to the people at East Chase, and cause at Christmas time it's about everybody coming together, about Jesus Christ and everything. Maybe you could talk them into coming halfway. You know, Perry Hill Road, and y'all do a parade, start at Vaughn Park. We got a lot of churches down through there. So, you know, give us a one Montgomery parade instead of, I thought William Bard have his parade around New Year's Day, right? So when I went to the Christmas parade downtown, I told my wife, I said, wait a minute, I got my days mixed up or something. But each church shouldn't have their own parade. Downtown, the black folks shouldn't have their own.
I agree with that. I think that's a great point. And believe it or not, we have had discussions about, again, I've said some other things that are a little out of turn here, about whether or not we could change some of the parades that we do. Because we on the same street for all the parades, except for William Lacey Boyd Parade out of Fairview. I'm open to that. I'm open to doing some new things. The city has moved east. There was a time when everything was held downtown because retail and business was there. I'm open to that. That has been brought to our attention about, well, could we do something in a different part of the city? Well, the city parade, actually, Vaughn Road Park and that area was mentioned. East Chase was mentioned. So people have mentioned that over the last, certainly, year, maybe 2 years, to that point. So we'll
I'm sure you're going to work it out. Let's take one more call, then I'm going to give you the last word. Good morning, on air.
Hey, hello.
Good morning.
Hey, is it true about the chief of police having some kind of sex scandal with a subordinate? Is that facts?
No. I can't speak to it being fact. But I hear a lot of things about a lot of people. Elected, appointed, hired, not hired. So, you know, I was a judge for 7 years, so I got a higher threshold than others.
All right, then. Appreciate it. And again, when it comes to good name and character, you know, I guess you guys wouldn't broach those subjects on the airways because we don't know. Once you damage somebody's reputation, you really can't get it back.
Yeah, I think that, when you're in public life, whether you're elected official, I told somebody this, you take a responsibility, your family, signs on to it as well, to do the things for the public good. You got to be careful about what you say about a principal, what you say about a teacher, or what you say about certainly someone that's in elected office. Anybody that's in that space, in my opinion, is a little bit different. And I think it's very easy for folks on social media these days to say, well, I heard this or I heard that. Well, okay, if you heard it,
then. We haven't really heard too many nasty things about you.
Well, you just said, they said I was riding around in the Escalade for 2.5 years.
That ain't nothing nasty. I mean, we want some good stuff.
Well, they said it was nasty. I had an Escalade. I said, all you got to do is see it's a Chevy, but okay. Yeah, and that was an old Chevy then, but okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard any rumors on you.
Well, listen. Look, you give it. By the time I hit the elevator, somebody will give you one. So that's just how the world works.
Let me give you the last word, and then I got some guests.
Hey, well, look, man. Listen. Hey, it's always good to get in and take calls and talk to the people of the city. I enjoy it. But I also want to make sure that for those that don't listen to your show, and I know you believe everyone does, and just like I believe everyone listens to every word of my speech that I may give. The city is in a good place, but we know we got more work to do, and there's a lot of great things that I'll share in the State of the City address on the 30th. And we want people to come out to the multiplex. Those that can come, please come. All the city departments will be there. You don't have to come to hear me talk for 20 minutes. You can hear and talk to each and every city department about what they're doing right in your neighborhood or what they're doing wrong. I do think that's very important. Each department will be represented there. And then we'll talk about where the city is and, more importantly, where we're going in 2024, along with the work of our city council men and women. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about some of the community center renovations that are going on, plans for downtown, plans for West Montgomery and North Montgomery, and some of the developments we even have coming in South Montgomery. So East Montgomery, y'all let us know what you need out there. Things are always needed all around the city. And we know trash pickup is one. So in East Montgomery, we're going to be improving that trash pickup too. I know we've heard that from out in that area. So we want to make sure that everyone across the city understands that we hear them, and we're trying to make sure government is more responsive and data-driven and is more effective. So I look forward to coming back on with you, Kevin, next time. And
when is the state of the
city is, I believe, is the 30th next Tuesday. It's on the 30th. I know the date, so I should know what day it is. I'm almost sure that's next. Yes, next Tuesday. All right. So it's 5 p.m. multiplex. Doors open up. Come down and talk to the city departments. The program will start at 6, and we'll get you in and out of there quicker than you do at church service.
Yeah, well, that's
you
not
go
saying
to church,
a whole lot. Yeah, I ain't saying a whole lot.
No,
I mean, I've seen people go to church when it's daytime, get out when it's dark. Anyway, I ain't going to that church.
Well, I'm not going to preach. I'm just going to speak.
All right, then. Appreciate you coming by. And because I thought you were scheduled to be on the phone, but you decided to come in. I know that you're on jet lag right now, back and forth to Washington, D.C.
Hey, somebody got to go up there and fight for Montgomery.
Somebody got to go.
Hey, it's too much pork and bacon being up there. We're going to go get some.
And if you missed the mayor, he'll be on the podcast sometime this week, so you can go back and listen to the show. We'll be back.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons Automotive, family owned, family driven on News Radio 1340.
Sponsored by Jackson Hewitt Tax Services, home of the Money Today guarantee. Can't wait weeks for your tax refund? Then don't. At Jackson Hewitt, get money today if you're approved for a no-fee refund advance loan on a prepaid card. Book today at jacksonhewitt.com.
Alexa or Google smart home device. News Radio 1440.
Well, one thing about being in the public eye, everybody's got a great criticism for you. Oh, everybody's got a great criticism for you. Can't do nothing right. And I used to be just as bad as you guys are, though. But after being in the public eye for years, you know, there are just some things that come along with the territory. Okay, just some things come along with it. You know, now I will say one thing about the mayor. He's gotten better, I think, at answering questions more concisely and quicker than he used to. Before, I just asked him a question, just go and have some water or something, because I knew it was going to be a minute. Anyway, good morning. So did anybody see the thing about Biden talking about the other day about keep our freedom, keep our democracy, except unless you happen to be an unborn child, then he wanted to fight for abortion. See, that's why I cannot support that odious party. I just cannot do it. You know, we talk on one hand you talk about democracy, and on the other hand you talk about killing your kids. Well, they don't have a right. They don't have a right to democracy. Okay, like Ronald Reagan said, everybody that's for abortion is lying. Also, we got into something a little while ago about some of these judicial races. See, these judicial races actually get on my nerve, because they all run for a judge office, but you never really hear from them, because the only thing they can say is, well, you know, a case may come before me. Well, it's not before you now. If you still use the legalese and the legal principles, then it doesn't make any difference whether it comes before you or not. But these guys get over until you get in their courtroom and say, where in the hell did they come from? You know. So I'm just saying, I think some of these judges ought to come on the air and have a conversation about their judicial philosophy. Okay, because I swear I don't know what they are, and unfortunately most of us won't. Fortunately, most of us won't have an opportunity to be some of that judicial philosophy administered to us, and that's a good thing. That's a great thing. But I'm just saying, we tired of this. You know, you get somebody's court, you find out that they don't like you, they don't like women, they don't like men. They've been hurt through their life, and they're trying. I mean, what's up with that? Okay, so I think we need a little conversation with some of these judicial candidates. And that includes a probate judge, judicial candidates also. So I like to talk to them. So if any of their handlers out there want to bring them up here, we'd be glad to make space and a room for them, because judges always, for the most part, they just go through this whole process, and nobody ever knows anything about them until they make a crazy ruling. Okay? So I'm just saying, like the Supreme Court did yesterday, make a crazy telling Texas they can't take care of them. They cannot protect their citizens. You take down the man. They must be crazy. I'll be ready to start another civil war on that one. Anyway, 860-1440 is our number here. Want to give us a call up, talk to whatever on your mind. And good morning. Who's this? Good morning.
Kelvin.
Yes.
Kelvin.
This is he.
This is he, huh? Oh, did you hear Trump when he came on and he said he was giving on the January 6th thing that he came on and said he was giving Nikki Haley, supposed to try to get Nikki Haley some troops, some men to go around there to fight for the down at the whatever what you call
it. I also understand hyperbole.
But I understand you just said came on and said what Biden did. Why you ain't come on and say that?
Because Biden was serious about it.
Biden, he was too.
About killing your children.
Biden's serious about that.
Yeah, about killing your children. It's hyperbole.
But Trump ain't serious about it.
No,
of
course not. Said, huh? Of course not. But,
okay, yeah. I see. Like I said, I see the hyperbole.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
What did the mayor said about the gun case? He said he did something about it. What did he do?
Well, I guess he settled it some kind of way. I don't really know the particulars of that case. I still can't understand why they can't do something with the Whitehurst case. I just don't understand. He said, well, it's time, and he said his legal people tell him that there's nothing he can do. Is
it any kind of way? I understand that. I'm talking about the gun case. I'm a little more interested in what's going on. But is there any kind of way you can get it? Hold on, can I talk? Stop being a bully all the time, Kelly. Let somebody black talk a little while. God damn. I'm asking you. Is there any kind of way?
Okay, you can't use that kind of language. Can't use that kind of language. So,
everybody else use, all the white folks use, why the black folks can't say
I hang up on them too. Yeah, when they use that kind of
Sure
language.
you do.
Yeah.
But, no, you don't.
Yeah,
But like I said, just let a black person talk a little while before you, why we had to come on and say, can I talk, Kevin? Let me talk a little while.
You've been talking. You've been talking.
I know, but I'm just, can I talk without you cutting in?
Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds, then I got to run.
That's all I need. If you'll let me talk, you learn how to shut up sometime, man.
See, there you go. Using your 30 seconds right there. You use your 30 seconds right there.
If I use it to do that, then that's fine. But I'm just saying, is there any kind of way you can get William Boyd to call in and kind of give us an update on that? You know what I'm saying? I know he know about it. He keep up with it, pretty good. Is there any kind of way you can get in touch with him and see can he call in and kind of update us on that situation?
Yeah, sure, if he wants. Unless there's a cloak of
William Boyd, if you're listening, can you please?
But I'll call
William
him.
Boyd, if you're listening, please call in and try and give us a little update on it. I would like to know about it.
All right, appreciate it. Good morning. Probably can't say nothing about it.
H.
Yes.
This is H.
H. Mr. H. Saw you on TV.
Yes, I got lucky. They put me on. My son did some work for me. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. I guess I just start off by saying that I enjoyed the mayor. The mayor was a good person. And as he spoke, a quote jumped in my mind. Every time I talk to you, I have to give you a quote. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And this one for him is, when you get where you're going, where will you be? When you get what you want, what will you have? I'd like to get answers to that.
That's some good questions.
Yeah, it's a good quote, too. These things that jump in my mind as people speak. But anyway, I also thought about his influence and how he spoke, and I was impressed with the young man. When he came to our community meeting, and he came in and started talking, and I talked back at him, and he wanted to know who I was. I knew his daddy, I knew of him. I knew of him when he was at Morehouse and everything. But I also thought about the presidency as he talked and how fluent he was. And not only do I want to know where will he be, and when he get what he wants, what will he have. I just know he's on the move. I admire young people. And I think about our presidents, the two men we got running for president, will be too.
Yeah, that's a good question.
When you get old, see, I'm older than both of the president's candidates. And I know how they think because I've been where they are. And if you're younger than they are, you haven't been. But it'd just be nice to have a younger person president.
I think it would be. I think it would be. Not because they don't have the ability.
I'm too old.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I'm almost too old, so okay, not quite.
Yeah, you moving up. I've been listening to you about 20 years, and you changed, brother. You getting up there with me?
Yeah, I'm just
not the age wise. Right. My son is older than you.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. H. 860-1440 is the number. Here's an issue. Some of the local pastors, some of the local faith leaders have come out and are against this execution with the nitrogen gas. And, I am too, not for the same reason. I don't believe in the death penalty anymore anyway. But here's my problem. You try to kill a guy. It doesn't go through. And then you turn around and try to kill him again. I think that is cruel and unusual punishment by any stretch of the imagination or according to the Constitution. I think it is. You get one shot at the apple, and then because y'all messed it up, now you get another shot at the apple. I think that's crazy. I really do think that's crazy. I know this guy did some heinous things, but at the end of the day, we're all going to end up in the same place. I just don't believe. I just don't believe that they should be doing this. I don't, and it's experimental. I saw my good friend from the Universalist Unitarian churches out there, and a couple other guys were out there. But it does seem to me to be cruel to try to kill somebody twice. because the first time didn't work, I just find the Vatican-affiliated Catholic charity makes an urgent appeal to stop the barbarous Alabama execution. A leading Catholic charity is making an urgent appeal to the U.S. state of Alabama to halt a planned execution this week using nitrogen, which I think that execution is tomorrow. And I think they got 12 hours to get it done. The Rome-based San Egidio community has lobbied for decades to abolish the death penalty around the world. I think I don't know. But the first one, using nitrogen hypoxia, I think I really do have a problem with this. The guy's name is Kenneth Smith, I think. I really do have a problem with this. I don't think if you didn't get him the first time, give him life in prison. As sooner or later, we're all going to die. So I don't know. To go back, to get twice at this apple, I think the government should just stop this, because it makes us look like we're bloodthirsty people. And we just got to go out today and kill somebody. Okay, I don't know. I'm not finding it, especially if you're a Christian person. Okay, the first time it didn't work, well, then you let them live. You let them live until God calls them home. You don't sit there and try to do it again. At least not in my mind. Good morning.
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 Well, you know who the mayor gets his information from about the police department, don't you?
From the police department, I assume.
From his aide/driver/bodyguard that he spends all day and time with, and he's got one of those $90,000 high country vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's 4 others. And I don't care what they drive, including the mayor, as long as they don't cut my insurance to try to fill the void.
Yeah, it certainly seems. Now, let me ask you a question. The money that they bought the vehicles with, is that money that was appropriated for those vehicles, whereas the money that they say they're saving on changing insurances, is all of that part of the general fund?
Well, I'm not sure about that. But it just doesn't look good, because if my daddy goes out and buys a brand new coat, $500 coat, and I don't have a coat, then I'm gonna look at Daddy and say, Daddy,
yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah, I think I have to ask that question too. But again, now the good thing with what we learned this morning, however, is that it's a trial basis, and after a year, they can either get rid of it or go back to Blue Cross Blue Shield. It may be, let's see if they can straighten some of this crap out. I don't know. I don't have that kind of insurance, but listen, I'm with you. I think y'all got screwed, glued, and tattooed. If in fact nobody wants to take the insurance, it's going up exponentially. I think we got some issues there. I can understand the new people coming in, but the folks who've been there, yeah.
Well, the people that, there are doctors, there are healthcare providers that are taking the insurance, but not everybody is taking it. And when he said that night in front of the city council to them, it sounded really good, but that wasn't factual. And, if they send you a book with these are the providers that you have to go to, then the provider that's not in that book can say, hey, I don't have to take that insurance. So I just wish he would have waited and put the whole city under this and saved a ton of money and taken everybody off Blue Cross and dropped down to a lower tier, but he didn't. And he's hurting people that are on a fixed income. A lot of these firefighters, they didn't take Social Security out of their checks, and all they got is that city retirement and that insurance.
Now, I think logic and reason dictates that what you say should be addressed. If we're saving so much money, then why not put everybody in the city on it and save even more?
Including the mayor and his family. Have a good day.
All right. Yeah. That's not an unreasonable question to ask. Good morning.
Good morning, my friend.
Yes.
Kevin,
Yeah.
We all are not going to the same place, my friend. God made heaven and hell.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people who believe they love Him, well, they're going somewhere else. People who love God, they're going where God is.
All right, I appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning.
Morning. Turn your radio down, whatever that is.
Morning.
Morning.
Should we be responsible for our actions? Should you be responsible for the actions that you do as an adult and also as a child?
Man, that is an interesting question because I can't really answer the question unless I know what the actions were.
Well, we always hear about the crime and the criminal. We don't never hear about the victim or the victim's family.
Mm-hmm.
How does the victim's family feel? How do they feel about this man going, supposed to die tomorrow? They took away one of his family members.
And I hear you. But let me ask you something. Let me ask you something.
We're not living in the 1920s where they didn't have DNA, where they didn't have arsenic labs. We're up to date on different things that they do in the laboratory. Evidence kits. They didn't have evidence kits back in the 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
So
you don't believe? Well, let me get this right though. They did try to kill him, and it did not work. You don't believe it's cruel and unusual to go back, get a second chance at the apple?
Have they done it before?
Yes. They try to stick him with. I think that the way you call that way they kill people now, and it didn't work. So now they can say, well, let's go find something else to kill him with. I mean, listen, I hear what you're saying, but something's wrong with that to me. That's not cruel and unusual punishment. That's what this is, and they're doing it with an experimental drug.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you on that issue there. But still, we never hear about the victim's family, how they feel. I mean, how do they feel about it? How do they feel about this man? They tried one. The government tried once, and now they're going to do it again. How does the family feel?
That we don't.
Lost a loved one.
Yeah, that. And again, listen. I got that part. I understand, and that is one of the reasons why people who are personally involved with these decisions are not asked to participate in them because we know what we want. We want vengeance. But again, the good book said,
we want justice. There's a big difference between justice and vengeance.
So where's the justice?
There's a big difference between.
But where's the justice trying to kill a man 2 times? The first time, okay, didn't work. Where's the justice in that?
Well, the guy that he killed is not coming back to life.
And I hear you. And there's nothing that anybody's going to do to bring that poor person back to life. But we all end up at the same place when it's all said and done.
What type of death did he have? I mean,
I hear you.
Was he shot multiple times, or was he shot once and then?
I hear you.
Was he shot once?
But
and then he had to linger. He had to linger.
Well, let me ask you something. What does God tell us to do? He said, "Forgive 7 times 70."
Yeah, he says, well, what did ancient Israel do? They said tooth for a tooth.
Well, if that were the case, we all be dead, because Lord knows
but it worked well for Israel, and God was with Israel back in the olden times.
And we were under the law. We were under the law then. We're not under the law anymore.
So you believe that anybody should go out multiple times and kill and do a massacre and get off scot-free?
Of course
not.
But I do know
and stay in prison for 30 years then get out.
I do know if you try to kill somebody once and it don't work, I don't think you should get a second try at the apple. He's going to die. We're all going to die eventually. It's all going to happen to all of us. I ain't trying to rush it, but it's going to happen. So we all end up in the same place.
And why do Well, why do we have the courts for then?
Again,
I mean, what is justice?
They're adjudicated right.
Let everybody run amok.
Right.
Just everybody run amok and do what they want.
And that's not what I'm saying.
And have no penalty.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
You know, keep them in jail for 30 years and then they're on parole.
I just think, I don't know about that, but I do think that things happen in our lives that none of, I don't know the whole gist behind the trial and what this guy did, but I do know they tried to kill him already once and it did not work. And I just think it's cruel and unusual punishment to try it again.
That part, but what about the other parts?
I think if they'd have went in and killed him the first time, everything worked out fine and good. Okay, we'll put that up to justice, maybe. But then again, you know, I don't know. I don't believe in the death penalty. I don't think it does anything but justify other people killing other people because they mess with them. I just don't believe it.
And then the taxpayers pays the penalty and let the murderer live for 30, 45 years in prison.
Well, we can always print more money.
We flip the bill. We just flip the bill, yeah. and then the victim's family.
And again, I'm so sorry for the victims. I don't know who they are. I've had some relatives. So I've had some relatives killed. So I know how that is, but I can't do nothing about what happened then. Got to take a break. It is 8:41 in the morning. I just think you get one shot at the apple. You mess it up, then I think you should be able to get two shots at it. That's just my own personal thinking. We'll be back after this.
Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Jackson Hewitt Tax Services, home of the Money Today guarantee. Can't wait weeks for your tax refund? Then don't. At Jackson Hewitt, get
And the time outside is 8:47 in the morning on this Wednesday morning. They went and overbooked somebody too much today. Oh well, sorry about that. I'm learning how to use my Microsoft 365 though, here in the stuff at the radio station, because I've been putting that off for years. But since I'm producing and doing the show, I have to use the tools that are at my disposal. 860-1440. Let's see who's on the phone here. And good morning. Who's this?
Man, it took so long to get to me, boy. I'm going to have to shorten what I got to say right now.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I do need me an Alvin home right now.
Mm-hmm.
People don't pay attention to small detail when it comes to the actions of the governor. Okay. A few months ago, she talked about she's going to make the kids repeat the third grade.
Right.
Okay. Talking bad about the public school, how bad they are. Everybody talking about how bad they are.
Well, she was only giving what the school board told me. They wasn't passing the reading test. I mean, that's not talking bad.
You know, what a caller told you a while ago. Listen, so just listen. I ain't got my time.
Okay, but she wasn't talking bad about it.
No, let me go. I'm going somewhere with this. But yesterday or the day before, she was on TV campaigning for the private schools and stuff, telling about the school choices and home schools. So, I don't understand something, Kevin. If you can't fix and not focusing on the public schools that need the help, instead you're out there campaigning for private schools, you know, and these same schools that you're campaigning for, they're not going to have to show what they're accountable for the school. Yeah,
but no. They do. No, we figured that out. Wait, hold on. Yesterday we asked that question. And these people in private school have to be accredited and have to be able to come up with the same numbers that the people in public school do.
Nope, there's a case in Tennessee right now. There's a school board fighting that because they spread the money out, because the money's going to be spread out to everybody, okay? The vouchers or whatever you want to, how you want to get your money for your kids. But the thing is, they don't have to show, how well they're doing. Okay, they should qualify like the public schools. When they're not doing good, they should be called out on it. Okay, telling these kids in the public school that they got to repeat the third grade. Okay, but you out there campaigning for people.
Well, let me verify what you.
I'm not blaming the people that who gonna want to do this. Okay, I'm just complaining about the system, the way it's set up. Where
let me verify.
You trying to help advance these people.
Okay. Let me get a go. Let me verify what you say, that private schools don't have to meet the same threshold, the same qualifications that people in public school do as it goes to learning and reading and writing and stuff like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll see. Good morning, you're on air.
Hey, good morning. Yep.
Morning.
Hey, you say your schedule's all messed up, but you got a pastor coming in there tomorrow?
Sean is supposed to be here.
Okay, well, good. Sean will probably know. Ask him to explain Romans chapter 13, which deals with capital punishment, Kevin. And I don't know why, my brother. Look, everybody can believe what they want to believe and go for what they want to go for. But I don't understand why, just like the caller before him called, the other caller, everybody always worrying about the criminal, and they don't worry about the victim. And that guy, why do you keep calling this cruel and unusual? Do you think when that guy murdered that family member, and they did interview some of the family members of you think that wasn't cruel and unusual?
Sure. But again,
so
when a
crook syringe, getting something on his a mask on his face, that can't even compare what that guy did.
And listen, I agree with you.
Murder for hire.
I agree with you.
That can't even compare.
I agree with you.
A syringe or oxygen mask on that guy to take his breath away.
But let me ask you
something. By the way,
compassion. Oh, wait, where'd you go? Wait, do I got you still? What? Up. You still there? Well, call me back because I got to ask you a question. Good morning. Who's this?
Dog.
Yes.
First of all those houses Stephen Reed claims being built, any of them being built in West Montgomery?
Well, I do not know, but I mean.
Well, I know, and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Didn't he campaign to do that though?
Well, he can't make private businesses build anything.
Well, he campaigned though on it.
I think he tried. He tried, but
Second thing.
Yeah.
They didn't try to execute him twice. They couldn't find a vein the first time.
Okay, but they went through the process.
So they're going to go to another process. And by the way, a convicted person has a right to a speedy trial, right?
Right.
Shouldn't the victim have the right to a speedy execution?
Well, let me ask something.
30 years is too damn long.
Listen, and you may be right, but let me ask something. When they put him on that gurney, for all he knew, he was going to die that day, that moment. He knew that was going to happen.
What do you think that woman felt?
No, and I'm with you.
She felt when she was being beaten.
I'm not sympathetic.
You think she was thinking about?
Wait a minute. I'm not sympathetic to this guy.
Wait a minute.
I'm not sympathetic to what he did, but I can tell you this.
You're giving him all that.
Well, no, but I can't.
And the third thing I want to tell you, I want I've told you this before, and you need to put your money where your mouth is. Go to a GoFundMe and set up for the Whitehurst case. Set up a GoFundMe for the people of Montgomery to send money for the Whitehurst family, because that's what you want is a monetary settlement.
Well, it would never settle it, but it'll do something for the family. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, go set up a GoFundMe and let people contribute. Okay.
Okay, that's good. Oh, all right. Appreciate it. And I'll explain my other thing here in a minute. Good morning, on air.
Oh, to God.
Okay, I agree with that. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, Kevin. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How you?
Hump day. It's hump day today, man.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to recommend a couple of books to you, but I got to meet you in person to show you the books before you buy them.
Uh-oh. What kind of book is he?
Hey, it's about religion.
Okay.
Check this out.
Mm-hmm.
One book talks about Jesus strictly, right?
Okay.
And the other book talks about Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Paul wrote most of the New Testament, from the book of Acts and on down to the Galatians, I think.
Right.
Yeah. But they gave him credit for 7 books, not 14, 7.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul is the one that changed the rule as far as, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Jesus didn't change the rule. Jesus said you still live by the law. Paul made exception. He says you use faith alone. is what gets you to salvation.
Right. It ain't what you do or what you. Right. I agree. I agree with that. Yeah. Not a problem.
And I would love for you to have a copy of these
But
books.
let me ask you a question, my friend.
Okay.
Is there any need for forgiveness if nobody forgives?
You got to define forgiveness first.
Forgive those that trespass against you. I mean,
is to forgive even your enemy, right?
Right. So there's no reason for it. Then why is it part of the lexicon of the Bible?
It's because, like I'm trying to explain to you, Paul says all you need is faith. Jesus says you have to still live according to the laws, the written laws. There are two laws. There's written laws and there's the unwritten laws.
Right.
The unwritten law has to do with the Sabbath, the circumcision, and the kosher. The kosher is the diet food.
Right.
Because you can't force that on people. Those were never.
Well,
wait a
minute. We better make up our mind. Do we get to heaven or in the presence of God and Jesus by believing that He is the Savior, or do we get there by what we do?
Paul says that you have to have faith in order to get to heaven.
Well,
Jesus says that you have to obey all the laws and repent.
Nobody has obeyed all the law. Hell, even some of the greatest men of God disobeyed laws.
Well, Kevin, like I said, man, I would love to take and let you read these two books.
Well,
man.
I got Sean coming tomorrow.
I'll let you bury him.
Okay, I appreciate it. I gotta go. We'll have that conversation tomorrow. Hopefully, if a living doesn't happen. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly.
Yes.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Hey, you are now getting ready for your pastor tomorrow. You were saying, was it Luke?
It's Luke.
Verse 16?
Yeah, it's Luke, and I think it's 24th chapter, verse 18 through 9. One of the verses are missing, but he'll be here tomorrow because he can tell us which one that is. Because I've often, well, why is it not in there? He tried to explain it to me, but I didn't. I thought it said, don't add and don't take away. I thought that's what it said.
Okay.
But we'll talk. Okay. Sean will be here tomorrow.
I don't see it being missing out of the King James version, though.
It's yeah. Well, I may got the verses wrong. So he'll be here tomorrow. He can explain it to us. Hey, appreciate it. I'm running out of time. One more call here. Good morning. Hello. All right then. One more. Good morning. Who's this?
Kevin, Romans 13. Tell the pastor to go over that tomorrow, and you're right about the forgiveness. But guess what?
Yeah.
It's not up to you. All right? It's up to his family to forgive him, not you.
Well, that's true.
And guess what? And I'm going to tell you this.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Since that guy has sat on death row since 1988, hopefully he's given his life to the Lord, and he will see heaven if he's done that.
Right.
But it's up to the family. It's up to God.
Right. It's certainly not up. Right. Certainly not up to me.
And if you don't forgive, Jesus said it that His Father will not forgive you.
Okay. Hey, with that, I got to go. My time's up, but I appreciate it. But we're going to have the conversation tomorrow. Anyway, thanks, everybody, for tuning in this morning. Thank the mayor for dropping by for a few minutes, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. The good Lord says the same. Remember, it is a great day. Like all the other days of old, it is a great day to be alive. Good morning to you. Now time to go get some breakfast.
Now, your WSFA 12 news update on News Radio 1440.
At WSFA 12 News, here's what's happening this Wednesday. For the second day in a row, protesters met at the state capitol in Alabama calling the upcoming execution inhumane. Kenneth Smith is set to be executed Thursday using nitrogen hypoxia, a method never used before in the U.S. After failed lethal injection, Smith actually requested death by nitrogen hypoxia. A former Wetumpka firefighter faces decades behind bars. John Cole Carter resigned after he was arrested last June. According to the district attorney, Carter sent and received obscene images to 2 teen girls over the course of about 6 months. And there was at least one instance where Carter met one of the teens in person. Happening this weekend, Montgomery's W.A. Gale Planetarium will finally reopen. The planetarium has been closed since May of 2022 as it transitioned from Troy University's management to the City of Montgomery. There will be a free grand opening event on January 27th. I'm Jasmine Williams with your morning headlines.
News Radio 1440, WLWI AM, the home of Sean Hannity. Also on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery, Alabama. A Cumulus